Administration said a couple months ago that social media posts will be used to determine like the moral character of a lot of immigrants and vulnerable communities that can be easily targeted. And that's, a flagrant violation of the Constitution, as we all know.
So they didn't tell him they were going to deny him, and yet ICE agents were waiting outside the door. You tell me how that makes sense. He's a decorated, disabled U.S. Army veteran. We have 2 little kids under the age of 3. He's married to a U.S. citizen. He's been here 25 years. He's a peaceful, law-abiding pillar of the community. He's been hand-selected by the governor of Washington to serve on multiple statewide boards and commissions, positions of incredible trust.
The situation with the detention center and the growing funding, arming, and expansion of this militarized enforcer agency.
Great. Thank you so much, Halima. And I'd like to just, highlight for us all that something Halima said about ICE. Like this agency, this secret police force that is kidnapping people off the streets, making them disappear. This secret police has been expanded and funded every administration, regardless of what team they play for. Every Democratic and Republican Congress has voted to give these people more money, more equipment, more authority. These people, there are no laws to hold these people accountable as there are regular police forces. And this is the police state that the establishment has created for us. Regardless of which team they claim to represent, what they really represent is the protection of capital and the enforcement of the police state. And it highlights for me why this system is unredeemable. That this is what we as Greens and as people who refuse to play this game, why we must fight against this. And I don't want to sugarcoat it. All of us are going to be at risk, and we have to be willing to accept that risk. If you don't accept the risk and accept the danger and accept that we have things to lose and are willing to lose those to fight for what's right, then we are complicit. We are suddenly going to wash our hands of it because we are not in danger yet. But when rights are taken from one group, they can be taken from every group. And what is happening to our neighbors now will happen to us in the future if we do not stand up and fight back.
So the call went out again today. Hey, this school is being targeted. We need people to show up when school is letting out in the afternoon. I am in a group that is specifically about immigrant support for my part of Portland. And so I got the message. And originally I was supposed to be in North Portland for an appointment and that got canceled. And I was like, you know what? I've got time. Let's go. I'll be there. One of my neighbors wanted to go and we're like, cool, we're showing up.
There are some parts of this that are just about optics. Let's be clear. Obama's still the deporter-in-chief, and Trump is still chasing Obama's deportation records, which goes back to the point that Marc, brought me in on. Do not think of these as separate and distinct parties. Think of this as a single capitalist imperialist party that has competing factions inside of it, one blue, one red. But if you were to make a Venn diagram of the donor base of those two parties, you would be staring at a single circle with AIPAC in the middle of it, with Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, General Dynamics, Northrop Grumman, with the war machine and the imperial machine right at the heart of the funding structure for both of those parties. It's just that the optics and the theatrics of power with respect to immigrant communities differs between Team Blue and Team Red.
They'll threaten to arrest you. They'll threaten your children trying to get you to comply. Remember, authoritarians, right? They want to move the needle. They want to declare you no longer have this right. This legal thing that you're doing, we're now going to declare it illegal. And if you say, okay, I guess I have to go along with that, then they've now moved the needle on what is legal and illegal. You only have rights if you exercise them. This is why I think that we all underestimate the importance of showing solidarity with immigrants who are being targeted, making it very clear that we are not in support of what the regime is doing and that we stand with our immigrant neighbors. We stand with our immigrant children. That very public physical display in and of itself very powerful. But also there is the deterrent effect. So ICE didn't show up today. We all stood there till the kids got out, the school buses got out, parents came and picked up their children, and then we all went home. But while we were there, like I'm very introverted in real life, but you know what? I used my box of whistle kits as like, this is the way that I can pretend to be an extrovert and strike up conversations with people. So I'm walking around handing out whistle kits, and I talked with several people. Almost everybody who was there came by themselves. They didn't know anybody else who was showing up. They saw a social media post, or it's, was shared in some signal group that they're in, and they decided all on their own, I need to show up for these children. And they did. And I want to like convey here how important that is, and like what an act of courage that is. It takes an awful lot in 2025 in the United States to just all on your own step out and take a risk. You don't know anybody who's going to be there. You don't know what's going to happen, except you know that ICE might show up. And to decide, I'm just going to step out and trust that the other people there are going to have my back, that I won't be alone. I'm going to take this risk. I'm going to step out in courage, and I'm going to stand there and protect these kids.
Hey. Hey.
Quit your job! Quit your job! Quit your job! Quit your job!
We have to this point proven incapable of actually beating back the rise. And the reason for that is simple. The reason for that is straightforward, is that these remain mobilizations around the specific issue rather than organization against the system, which is productive of the issues. I told you that Malcolm said, we're not outnumbered, we're out-organized. I told you that Kwame Ture said, revolutionaries don't just mobilize around issues, revolutionaries organize against systems. I say that the role of a revolutionary political party is that it channels the people's energies from mobilization around the specific issues that face respective communities into organization against the systems that produce the oppression of all. It means that we're no longer mobilizing around trans rights in a silo. It means we're no longer mobilizing around LGBTQ rights in a silo, or immigrant rights in a silo, or police brutality in a silo, or Palestinian liberation in a silo. We are understanding and presenting to the public the structural relationship between all of these forms, and positing simply and in a straightforward way that simply protesting these forms of oppression will produce no outcome.